feel like lesbian math should probably be separate from girl math. Like, of course, lesbian math is girl math, but on another level. But to be fair, I do this too and I'm not a lesbian. If I already bought this and paid for it, and I only get it now because I pre-ordered something or I booked like a hotel early on, then I'm not actually spending money right now. Because that money is already like gone and then it's paid for and then it's basically free. You know? Same with if I pre-order something. I already paid for it, but it arrives now. So it's free now, it's like a present. And honestly, you might have a point, it's definitely cheaper than having kids. So I think you're good. Hello BabyQueers and welcome back to my channel. We're doing QueerTok now, randomly, in the middle of videos. Because, fun fact, I was supposed to do QueerTok the other day, but did neurodivergent TikToks instead, which might be a very neurotypical thing to do, to not be able to read what it says on the plan. But anyways, we're doing QueerTok today because I have a lot saved and I don't want you to miss out. But either way, you know the deal. Before we continue, you're gonna get hydrated. So grab some water, or some tea, or whatever else you like to drink, and then we'll look at some more TikToks. Are you hydrated? Good, let's go.
Whoa, let me get this straight. No, where were we?
I feel like you could just do this at random points. Just please make sure the other person is actually straight, because then they're like, wait, I'm actually bisexual though. Then you're gonna stand there very awkwardly. But if you just actually do it to a straight person, that would be pretty funny.
I don't even know which lesbian stereotype I am. Is it something like can't drive? I swear to God, because I can't drive.
Okay, first of all, I feel like we would all love filters like this with like our identity, because sometimes stereotypes just are true, and sometimes it's just so untrue that it's funny because of that. But in this case, I have a feeling she really can't drive. But she jinxed it by saying it. Come on, like if you're gonna do a filter like this and then say, okay, I hope it's not this, it's gonna be that, because you already know it's true. Yeah, expression doesn't always fit your vibe. I don't even know if mine fits mine. Like, because my expression isn't like even strictly one thing. I do wear black a lot, and I don't know if that even fits, but I'm not gonna stop. But yeah, looking at like especially masked lesbians and just assuming they are gonna act like the first part and just like act super tough is probably kind of ridiculous.
As a lesbian, it's interesting and telling that straight men always ask me why I don't want to be with a man. But straight women completely understand.
Yeah, I feel like women in general might also be more aware of the fact that sexuality isn't a choice. Like, you didn't actively stand there and be like, okay, I have looked at men, and no thank you. It'd be pretty funny, but I think women are actually more aware of that's not how sexuality works. You know? But yeah, on the other hand, I've had a lot of women say, oh, I wish I could switch teams, I wish I could just be into women. And I've never actually had a man say that. Of saying, oh, I wish I was gay and not straight, because women are exhausting. Literally only heard women say that.
I am a man. I'm a trans man, but I'm not a binary trans man. And there's that little distinction that's hard to explain but is very important to my identity and my perception of myself. The way that I can kind of explain it is that a cis man has not experienced the expansiveness of gender that I have experienced. A cis man has lived his whole life in this box. I lived way over there for years, and I know what it's like to be treated as a girl in society, and I know what it's like to be standing here like this at work and have one customer come up to me and confidently call me she, her, and the next customer come up and confidently call me he, him. I know what it's like to be perceived as every gender. I know what it's like for someone to look at me and be deeply confused about what they're seeing. I don't fit quite in that little box of man, of male, of cis. That's not something that I've ever experienced, and I don't want to. I want to have this masculine base. I want to create this person. I want to feel like I'm comfortable in my body, and then I want to expand off of that. I want to explore gender again. That is so important to me. And I'm more than a man. I'm not just male. I don't quite fit in that box. I can stand right next to it, but I'm not gonna go in because I don't fit. It's not quite right. Girl is way over there, right? But I'm right here, right next to that. And I'm gonna explore, and I hope somebody understands, and I hope somebody has that same feeling, because I think it's fairly common. And I see a lot of people with a similar experience, but we just don't know how to explain it.
Honestly, fair. I guess I always knew I was non-binary, but just told everyone I was a trans man because it's just easier, and I hate dealing with people in general. So I got everything changed to male, because I knew, just like from a physical standpoint, I was going to be way more comfortable on testosterone and having my boobs chopped off. So I kind of crawled out of one box, which I wasn't even really in. I guess I was just like kind of sitting on top of it like a cat who's not supposed to be on that shelf, you know. I was just like sitting there, but people just looked over and was like, well, yeah, close enough to the box, we'll just call it a go. Then I kind of went up to the man box and stood right next to it, or maybe also crawled on top of it, but then went back to exploring, because gender is weird. And honestly, I don't really, I feel like the cat analogy probably fits, because cats don't really care either if they're supposed to do something or not, you know. So watch me, look me straight in the eyes while I push the gender glass off the table, you know. So I get it, I'm not as male leaning, I guess. But kind of not. You know.
Why has your hair turned white?
Because it makes me look more badass.
So why have your nails turned black?
Because it makes me look fabulous!
Again, this is why we don't police other people's identity. Like, if you're just asking because you're curious, and do it without that undertone of, but why are you like this? Why would you do this? Then honestly, I guess it's okay. But a lot of people do kind of have that really, I don't want to say menacing, but really like ignorant. It's not just a, hey, I'm just curious, like why you did this thing. It's a, why did you do this thing, you know? But wearing nail polish because it makes you feel or look fabulous is entirely fair, no matter your gender.
Oh, fuck. There's only one now? Well, which one? Which one are all of us, then? Should I just refer to you as she now, or are you gonna start referring to me as he? If I'm assuming the two are the ones that you've chosen, but since we've eliminated the two, which one is left? I'm starting to panic.
Honestly, if you're just gonna say it's one, just say human and get on with it. Because I could kind of get behind it. I know gender is important to a lot of people. And obviously being referred to correctly is important to a lot of people. Typing an angry little hate comment and being so stupid to not even proofread it before you send it, however, is very not important. So I'm glad she made fun of you, But yeah, which one is it? Which one?
Okay, my gender crisis is at an all-time high again lately. But that is definitely not it.
Listen, it's important to know what isn't. Like, I mean, I guess it's kind of similar with my transition, because it's just easier. Most people will say, okay, there's only two. So if you know, hey, I'm not comfortable at girl, I'm just gonna start walking towards guy. That's honestly fair. You don't have to know where you're going to start leaving something that doesn't feel right to you. But why is this filter called Rip Gender Roles? Should I try this filter? Maybe. Do you know how many TikTok filters I have saved and not yet used? Because I don't, the answer is too many, probably.
Right. So, y'all got girl math, you got boy math, you even got gay math. And now, it's time for non-binary linguistics. Cause let's be real, we just in a different class than y'all. And no shade, I'm not doing math. Alright, let's go. For starters, the word cunt is used as an adjective, not a noun. I say, yes bitch, you are cunt. I don't say, yes bitch, you are a cunt. I use it to explain how somebody is, not who somebody is. Second, despite what your grandparents and what most of the Republican Party might say, I can use they, them, or theirs when referring to one singular individual. If I say, yes bitch, they look fab, I'm probably not talking about a group of people. I'm talking about one singular motherfucker who's eating the house down, boots mama, yes, giddy gat gat gat, ah, Katrina, 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 wham. Take notes. Lastly, if a person is AMAB, you can sometimes use she, her when giving them praise. Yes, bitch, she looks fab. Yes, bitch, she ate that. If a person is AFAB, those pronouns are most likely off the table, and you shouldn't do it. Because that's rude, that's misgendering, and in some states, that's a human rights violation, and your ass will get got. Don't do it. Class, it's over. Shakova.
Honestly, why not? No one wants to do math. Especially queer people, like doing like lesbian math or gay math. Also doesn't really make sense because queer people are just rumored to be really bad at math in general. I still don't understand anyone who gets math. Because I just don't. But okay, either way, non-binary linguistics is entirely fair, and I would still rather go to this class any day than any math class. You know? Yeah. But that's the thing, you can use cunt as an adjective, because if you use it as a noun, it's a negative. If you call someone a cunt, it's not a good thing. You're saying they're an asshole, they're rude, they're stupid. You know, but if you say someone's cunt and use it as an adjective, or say their outfit is cunt or whatever, then it's a positive and a compliment. Using she, her, I know honestly a lot of cis men will get upset, so if you do it, that's fair. But yeah, I mean, maybe I guess if you're friends with them, you'll know if it's like comfortable for them, because if not, don't do it. Even if you want to say, oh, she ate that. Maybe don't if they're not comfortable with it. But then again, I think I don't have to tell most non-binary people, because trans people know. Again, I'm a sucker for these kind of transition videos. I'm just a sucker for them. Because, definitely. Because as much as a lot of trans people do look good before that transition, or are pretty or handsome, you can still always see the hint of wanting to die in their eyes and being super uncomfortable. And I was just like so much more comfortable in their skin afterwards. And that's just so much better to see. You know? So I'm a sucker for them and I will keep including them.
If you're trying to be inclusive about my particular gender, here's a quick tip for you. Yes, I am agender. Not as in agender as in one gender, as in like agender as in like atypical. The A is a prefix. For the purposes of this video, just assume it stands for all of the above. What pronouns do I use? All of the above. Bonus points for uniqueness and straight up niftiness. Should I wear a suit or a dress to your wedding? First of all, it's your fucking wedding. I'll wear whatever the hell you want me to. Second of all of the above. I'll wear a dress, rip it off, full tuxedo. Should you call me pretty or handsome? All of the above. Please call me pretty. Please call me handsome. Am I your boyfriend or girlfriend? All of the above. This is a threat. You see, I don't care about the social stereotypes in which I am perceived. I personally think that gender is an arbitrary notion. You cannot misgender me because there's no gender there to miss. But by addressing me in ways that aren't typical for someone as feminine presenting as me, you do out yourself as someone who cares for the community that I'm in and who is a safe space for the queerness that is inherent within me. So while I don't care, you can show that you do.
Honestly, they bring up a very good point. Because it actually, like, it took me a while to reach this level of not caring. Because as someone who's been called she, her all their life, sometimes it can be difficult because you'll be trying to prove to people that that's not it. You're not a she, her. But now that people recognize I'm not, I honestly don't care anymore if you perceive me as a woman. Honestly, I should keep track of the amount of times I'm in a man's bathroom, like a washroom, in public. And especially old men just will walk in and be so confused. Because it's just hilarious to me. It used to be upsetting. Now it's just hilarious to me. Because why are you suppressed about someone washing their hands? Because it's literally always when I'm standing at the sink to wash my hands. Every time. Anyways. Honestly, yeah. I don't care. I don't care. Like, because the way you perceive my gender is kind of a you problem. You know? And it's not even technically a lie. You were born with a lack of testosterone. So, honestly, especially if you live somewhere where a lot of people aren't cool with trans people, this might be a safer option for someone who's randomly being nosy, you know?
The only people who really get it is kids. I have a niece who's like 7, and we were going to Paris in the summer, and there's a pool on the River Seine. She wanted to go so bad. So we went to Paris, and before we go swimming, she goes, Anik, are you gonna wear swim shorts or a bikini? She's 7. I go, swim shorts. She goes, why? Don't need a bikini. She goes, did you cut off your titties? And I went, yeah. And then she looked at me and she goes, why? Didn't fit me. And then she went, and what's the color of your swim shorts?
Asking the important question because maybe she wants to color coordinate with you, you know? Maybe she thought it'd be cute if you go as like a little family outing and wear like both blue or green or whatever. Because kids don't really care. Because kids learn so many new things day in, day out, that if you explain something new to them, sure, they're going to be curious and maybe ask some questions about it. But they're not going to care. They're not going to be judgmental because they haven't learned how to be that judgy yet. Because that's something kids learn. So yeah, she's just asking the important questions.
Look, I know you've been taught to hate that little curve under your belly button. Maybe you spent your whole life hating it.
but I'm a lesbian, which means I actually like women, unlike straight men. And when I tell you that little curve makes me absolutely feral. Patriarchy has lied to you. You're super hot.
I mean, I wish it was only a joke of saying straight men don't like women, they're just attracted to them. But for a lot of men, that's actually true, so that's kind of sad. But yeah, definitely. Bringing back the lesbian who was like solving her insecurities, because anytime she was starting to feel insecure about her cellulite, or having a bit more body fat, or having uneven boobs, or whatever it was, she just thought about, wait, if this was on a woman I was attracted to, would I care that her boobs are a little uneven? No. Would I care that she has fat in certain places? No. Would I care that she has cellulite? No. Would I care that she has a curve in her underbelly? Absolutely the fuck not. You might even really like it in other women. So why would you feel insecure about those things in yourself? Because if someone's attracted to you, they're gonna be attracted to you and not care. And yeah, generally trying to go around and police other people's bodies because they should lose weight or should gain weight or should look a certain way. It's stupid in general, please cease.
My mom can't handle it either, so she just keeps calling me her daughter. And I was like, can you just at least say kid? That would be cool. We had people over, and then she made the tour of the house, and then I was sitting on the couch, and the guy, you know, that she's showing the house, she goes, my daughter lives in New York, and she's a female comedian and a female lawyer. And this guy looked at her, and then he looks at me, and what do you do? And I went, I live in New York, and I'm a male comedian and a male lawyer. And he looked at me and he goes, oh, what a coincidence.
Did not clock it at all. Because I would have been like, wait a minute. Because if you're trans, you know how some parents are. It's just like, are you the daughter she's talking about? But I feel like random people aren't gonna notice. They're just gonna be like, huh, you have two kids that do exactly the same thing? That's so funny. But yeah, don't be rude. Like, at least say child or something. If you can't bring yourself to do it, but just blatantly misgender them when they've asked you repeatedly not to and you've had time to get used to new pronouns and a new name and everything. It's just a rude move.
You look like a girl. Thank you. I don't know if you meant it as a compliment, but kind of is one. It's kind of fun to play with masculine and feminine when it comes to fashion, you know? I've been really interested in more androgynous clothes, feminine clothes, I don't know. Bags, corsets, longer hair. I am a guy though, but I'm flattered that you've noticed my more feminine styles.
Listen, I don't even know if he's queer or not. And I don't really care, because I feel like this kind of vibe that he's bringing is gonna attract a lot of queer people, and it's gonna be really cool to a lot of queer people, because it's refreshing to see a guy not be like, no, I can't drink a cocktail, I have to drink beer, beers are masculine. And oh my god, don't touch me with nail polish, or glitter, or anything pink. Honestly, it's just nice to see. I know a lot of men aren't like that, but a lot of men are. But just seeing someone like him, they're like, you know what? I just want to play with my fashion. I don't care. I'm a guy. I know that I'm a guy. It doesn't matter to me. Let me wear a corset. It's honestly nice to see. And he looks really good.
Dating since coming out as gender fluid has been so interesting, and I want to tell you why. So I identify with any and all pronouns, right? I do prefer, and I usually do feel more masculine and androgynous than I do anything else, but I'm totally okay with any pronouns. And on the dating apps, when telling people this, it is so interesting, and I just love it when people play around with my pronouns. I especially love and fancy when a straight guy will call me daddy, or sir, or him. Or, you know those, like, terms that guys use with their guy mates? Bruh, muscles, whatever it is, those terms of endearment that they use, and when they use them on me, I think it's hot in here. Back to the daddy point, not even in a sexual way, you know, just like, oh, you're so dad, you're so daddy, you know? Also sexually, but that's for another TikTok.
I mean, I get it. Because it just hits differently somehow. Because, again, you know, a lot of men are gonna be very, no, I have to drink beer, and I will not call you any other pronouns, because they're super repressed and don't want to think about queerness. And just, I guess it just hits differently if you see a man just being super chill. They'll be like, oh, you're queer, you identify with any pronouns. Well, that means I can also call you bro, or sport, or daddy. And honestly, I guess that's why it just hits differently. Because it does. It also just hits differently to be called any like term of endearing by like middle-aged women somehow. But maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just me.
So, are you an energy drink queer or an iced coffee queer? Bisexuals, I know you're gonna say both, okay?
Not even bisexual, but definitely said both. Because both. I feel like the not choosing should probably also apply for like genderqueer people or non-binary people, because we're gonna look at this and be like, all of the above. All of the above. I'm still kind of switching between, am I genderless or genderful? I don't know, but all of the above. I like tea too, by the way. You know? Okay, that was all the TikToks I have saved for today. I feel like I didn't finish collecting these because otherwise this video would be longer. But oh well. I hope you enjoyed these TikToks. I hope you found at least some of them relatable, depending on which flavor of queer you are. And I hope you're hydrated. If not, maybe go drink something now. But either way, I'll be back in a few days with my next video.